All right, let's talk about the key attributes that a personal assistant needs to have versus an executive assistant or an admin assistant, because their jobs are very different. One is, going to organize things and take care of paperwork. Another one is your team leader, keeps track of everything. A personal assistant is all up in your personal space. And so the very first thing that you're looking for in a personal assistant is that they're discreet. You know, they have access to a lot of private information that you need to, feel confident in trusting them, and they need to completely understand confidentiality and, be mindful, of your privacy. So they can't be, talking about the fight you had with your husband, or whatever it is. And so you need to do your due diligence and conduct a background check and references before you hire someone. As far as confidential information, we use a program called Nacho Nacho, and what they do is they give you you can create a virtual credit card so that you're not actually giving the personal assistant your bank account or um, your bank account or your credit card information. And in there, you can create a virtual account and you can put like a dollar limit on there. Like, they can only spend $200 or whatever. And so that's a really great way to kind of protect yourself. But we can do another video on that. But the number one thing that you have to worry about when you're hiring a personal assistant is that they're discreet. They need to understand confidentiality. Next, they need to be proactive, right? A great personal assistant is going to realize that I need something before I realize I need it. And they're going to go out and they're going to make that happen. So your personal assistant shouldn't wait for something to happen. They should anticipate your needs before it ever even crosses your mind, and then have the initiative to set a plan in place to make sure that those things are taken care of, and you don't even have to ask them. The last thing is, not the last thing, the next thing is critical thinking. You don't want to have to do all the thinking for your personal assistant. You don't want to have to give them this is step one, step two, step three. They should be able to figure it out on their own. So definitely look for a personal assistant who can think for themselves. Next point, communication, right? This is a big one. They're going to be like your best friend, right? They're going to know everything about you. And so if you guys don't have good communication skills or you're not a cultural fit for whatever reason, that's not going to work, right? So make sure that you guys have open and honest communication and that they have very good verbal and written communication skills. That's going to help you out tremendously. And you'll thank me for having that as a key requisite. Another one is flexibility, right? Sometimes things happen that are outside of the normal work hours, and while we don't want it to happen frequently, we need them to be a little bit flexible when that does happen. So if I need to pay a little extra overtime or a bonus or something like that, I'm willing to do that as long as they're willing to bend a little bit and help me too. And again, that's going to be a very rare case. I think in the 6 years that Tanette's worked with me, I think twice she's had to go to an appointment that was outside of her normal work scope hours. So remember, they're people too, right? They're not here to just serve your ever beck and call. We need to make their lives really good and give them structure and things like that too. But it does happen, right? And so we need them to be a little bit flexible. The next thing is organizational skills. It's their job to keep track of everything in your life. And so if you need the address for whatever your Uncle Joe, they need to know where to go to get that and keep everything nice and organized and making sure that you're at all your appointments, you're not dropping any of your to-dos, and those things are getting taken care of. So the last thing is computer skills, especially if you have a personal assistant who is remote, right? Your personal assistant should know how to use, Microsoft Word. They should know how to do the basics in Excel and PowerPoint in case they have to get you ready for a presentation, or, be able to schedule things in Google Calendar. So they should be very familiar with the computer and the internet and the tools that we use on a daily basis. So next question is, where do we find a personal assistant and what's that going to cost me? Personally, I take a look at the Philippines, and I use a hiring board called Online Jobs. If you actually take a look in the notes below, you'll see a link to it. And it's a job board, just like anything else, like CareerBuilder or Monster, that we would find in the United States. But the US dollar to Filipino peso is super, super favorable for us. So we're able to get a really good executive assistant for about $4 an hour. And that's going to be middle class for them. So that would be equivalent to us making probably $60,000 or $70,000 a year. And I know that's hard to believe, but it's true. It's just, how much further the dollar goes over there. So other reasons that I look for the Philippines is they're very relational people. They're very honest, and they truly want, what's best for me and my company. And so being honest and ethical and confidential is just built right into their culture. And so it works out really, really, really nicely. Now, when you get to Online Jobs, you definitely are going to have to filter through, right? It's not a magic bullet, but watch our other videos on the 5 steps to hire, and that will help you filter through all the applications and have the cream of the crop rise to the top. I have been doing this for 16 years, and it has yet to fail me. I always find a killer candidate. Now, granted, I'm going to look at 200 applications and then, filter it down to 30, test those 30, filter it down to 10, give them a little paid assignment, and then interview the top 3. But from that, I have always, always, always found a killer candidate. So it does take a little bit of time to find someone amazing, but once you do, it will be absolutely life-changing. So if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. As always, please like this video and hit subscribe. That helps us out on our channel. And we will see you guys in the next video.